guys, welcome back to my colourful country life. It is my favourite time of the month again, where I get to look back at all the pages I've completed this month and share my thoughts with you all. So I had big plans for February. If you saw my plans video, you'll know what I'm talking about. But we unexpectedly had to move sooner than we thought. Now, when I say move, I am still here on the farm, but we did have our previous home in Sydney still, and that's what we had to move. So 20 years of stuff from a farm in Sydney, 3 hours from the farm where we now live, lots of trips, lots of unpacking, organising. We are almost done. So then I sat down ready to start filming this video, and I had a quick look at the pages I've completed this month, and I was actually surprised. I managed 11 pages this month, and I honestly have no idea how I did it. That is a lot for me on a normal month, let alone a crazy month like February has been. I had a week where I couldn't colour at all. My Rooms of Wonder page took me 9 days to complete. My internet is playing up. It just won't work properly. I think there's something wrong with the tower maybe, because I've tried a few different internets that we have here and neither of them are working very well. So I honestly thought it was going to be half as many finished pages. So I'm actually shocked at how much I got done. There's still a couple I didn't get to complete from my February plans video, like the Rita Berman's Africa page and the Secret Garden double page. Is it double page or even bigger, I think? The big pull out at the back. But I will add them to my list for April, hopefully, to complete. Also, I have allergies today. They always seem to be worse when it rains for some reason. So if I sound all stuffy or I'm heavy breathing in your ears, I'm not sick or anything. Just breathing and talking at the same time is really hard today. So I apologize in advance. I'll try not to sniff in all your ears. Anyway, I'll move this out of the way and let's take a look. First, I'll just show you my WIP from Jewelry Box by Hannah Carlson. Now, nothing has changed since last month, and the skin on this page here was coloured with the Naomi chalk pastel pencils. There is a review for those pencils up on my channel, and in that video I do show you how to colour the skin. I really love how this skin has turned out. I think I said that last month too. Those pencils were just beautiful for creating skin. I do have my skin... how to colour skin and my skin combo videos coming soon. Hopefully we'll get to them in April. Yeah, we should get to them in April, I think. We've got the unique colours, which I'll be filming later today. I have all my pencils pulled out ready for that, and then I'll do the polychromos and prismas skin tutorials as well after that. So anyway, back to this page. So in the review for the chalk pastel pencils, you'll see how I coloured this skin here if you want to follow along. And I will pop all links I mentioned today in the video description as well, so they're easy to find. Now, I haven't coloured this page or worked on it this month because I did have a thought, an idea for this page. Now, after I did the Inktense tutorial, and I'll show you that page next, I think. So I had a few requests for some other chatty tutorials, and I thought this might be a great page to do a tutorial on Neo Colour 2s for the background. So I will do the other videos that were requested too, which were tutorials on watercolour paint backgrounds, as well as how to use watercolour pencils. Now, the only watercolour pencils I own are the Albrecht Dürers, so that video will be filmed using my Albrecht Dürer pencils. But as I've already coloured the skin on this page, I thought it'd be perfect still for the Neo Colour 2s, as I don't need to use any masking fluid on the page to be able to do that background. So I will pick a different page for the watercolour paints, something with a bigger background, to show you how to use a masking fluid as well at the same time. But I could even use this page to do my Albrecht Dürer tutorial as well, using the flowers and the leaves. Let me know what you think on that one, but definitely I think we can do the background. We could even do the leaves and the flowers with the Albrecht Dürers too, so let me know what you think. So that is my WIP, and let's get on to the completed pages. Alright, so speaking of the Inktense tutorial, we may as well start off with Starfall or Shooting Star by Maria Troll. Is it Maria Troll or Maria Trolle? If you know how that is correctly pronounced, can you please let me know in the comments, because I'm sure I'm saying it wrong every time. So last month I coloured this page here as a buddy colour, and I did get quite a few requests for an Inktense tutorial, so we did the right hand side together in a video. Now if you haven't watched that video, I will pop it in the description box as well. Bear in mind it is like 4 hours long. It is a full colour along of this page, and I talk through how to colour each element using a few different techniques, so you may want to pack a picnic before watching that one. But let's get to what I use. So the entire page is Inktense. However, the grass and the ocean have Prismacolor pencil layered over the top. Now, by adding pencil over the top, it removes that painterly finish and it just looks blended and smooth instead. So I wanted the land and the sea to have that look, and my sky to still have that painterly look, as well as my houses too. So I've also used Fly Sea glitter markers from Lightwish on the moon and all the stars in the sky. I'll lift that up for you guys so you can see that sparkle. There is a review for the Fly Sea glitter markers up on my channel as well. There's Jelly Roll metallic in silver on the windowsills and the door frames. And I've used Tooly Art paint markers to white out the black lines on the chimney smoke. There is a Folk Art extreme glitter on the light beams. I'll show you that up close as well. And some Pentel Sparkle Pop to outline the beams. English is hard today. Breathing is hard today. I love how well these pages look together as a double page spread. I did make mine into a double page spread, as to me it looks like the same lighthouse, just from different angles. But you don't have to colour it that way. You could use opposing colour palettes to create a contrast between the pages as well, which I think would look really good. I do love how my galaxy sky turned out as well, and I'll be doing a lot more galaxy skies with Inktense in the future, I think. So that is another page completed from the Starfall or Shooting Star from Maria Troll or Maria Trolle. And this page is fast filling, this book, sorry, is fast filling up, which I'm really enjoying seeing. So while we're on Maria Trolle, let's take a look at Moon Valley. So this month I did a buddy colour with the lovely Laura, who is my colouring journey on Instagram. And I'll pop up links for all my buddy colours down in the description box as well. So you can go check out their Instagram pages. If they do have YouTube channels, I will link them too. But I don't think any of them have YouTube channels this month. But you can go to their Instagram pages and check out their completed colouring pages. So this is the page we chose to colour. Now, it is also in Universe, her compilation book. I did notice it's a little bit smaller in Universe and has a bit of a border as well, I think, if I remember correctly. But I decided to complete the page in Moon Valley, as this was previously an uncoloured book for me. So I'm really happy to finally have a page completed in this book. And now let me pop up Laura's fabulous page up here, and I think her page is simply magical. She achieves such a wonderful depth of color with that beautiful background. It is just such a happy spring pretty page. So thank you, Laura, for buddying with me this month and helping me to get started in this book. My Maria Trolle books are finally starting to get some love, and it makes me so happy to see the colouring books filling up with colour and completed pages. Even though this is my first one in this book, I'm sure there will be more to come. So for my page, I used Neocolor 2 for the background and the water. I used polychromos on top of the water to get the blended look rather than the painterly look. I originally was going to do a forestry green background to add depth to the page, but I decided to keep it light and go for this peachy coloured sunrise instead. And you can see she's sort of rested on something here, so I coloured it as water. She looks like a sort of elven deer fairy mix. So I pictured her coming up to a lake on a lovely spring morning and coming for a drink of water. I maybe should have made her elbow and her hair, the ends of her hair here, look like it was underwater instead of it looking like she's resting on top of the water. So the flowers and the leaves are coloured with my Albrecht Dürer pencils. Based first and then activated with water, and then over the top dry to add some shadow and some depth. I have used Light Wish Super Golden markers on the flower centers and the center of the butterfly as well. There's also a little bit of stickles on the flowers just to add a little bit of sparkle on there. What else do I use? I use glossy accents on the butterflies to make them stand out a little bit, and also on her eyes. There's a bit of white signo on her eyes as well. Then I used a mix of Tuli Art and Art X, the paint markers, to go over the black lines on the flowers and the leaves. And for her, she is also, her outfit here is coloured the same as the flowers and the butterflies. The rest of her is all polychromos, but the animals and this little girl here, they were coloured using Albrecht Dürers, wet and dry. So that is my page from Moon Valley. So another buddy colour I completed this month was in Atlantis by Hannah Carlson, and this was with my very talented friend Alex, who is Jamali Creative over on Instagram. So we decided to do this double page spread, but instead of us both doing the same picture, we decided to do a side by side. So I coloured the left side of the double page spread and Alex coloured the right. Actually, Alex coloured both pages, which you can see over on her Instagram. But for our buddy colour, I did the left and she did the right, so we could put them together to make a double page spread. Now, I am going to pop her page up on the screen over here, and it is absolutely spectacular. Her queen honestly looks like it belongs in a Disney movie. She has done such a fabulous job as always, and thank you, Alex, for once again buddying with me. Your work never fails to amaze me, and I love the little stories you come up with to go with our pages as well. So for my page, gosh, what didn't I use on this page? So the background is grabby watercolor paint. Now I used the colors from I think it's a 100 set. I do have a review for the paints up on my channel as well. And I used some purples and blues, and then I added in some of the silver metallic paint closer to the portrait. I've also used some Imagine Crafts Sheer Shimmer Spray in the color Sparkle on the background, and I will lift that up to give you a closer look. Now, it is a bit of a dark, dismal, rainy day outside, so hopefully it catches well in the light and you can see that beautiful shimmer. I can see it really well in person, so hopefully you can see it in camera as well. Now, behind my King of Atlantis here, I wanted a sort of mirror effect, so I used a color shift paint in a silvery purple color. Hopefully that is catching the color change there. Just 1 second and I will grab it and tell you exactly what it was. Okay, so it was the Folk Art color shift paint in the color Silver Flash. Look how pretty that color is. I need to get myself some more color shift paints, I think, because these were just so much fun to play with. I need to add some more to my collection. So all the pencil work was done in Prismacolor, and I love how the skin turned out. I wanted a kind of fantasy tone, so I just threw some colors at him to see what would work. And other than the fact that his nose and his lips make him look like he has hypothermia, I think it worked out really well. I really did enjoy coloring a different skin tone. It was quite fun. But with his hair, I wish I'd used more of a muted purple tone, like a grey purple. I think the blue might be a tad too bright. I did use muted tones for the rest of the frame here though, so he would stand out more, but I think the blue hair makes him stand out a little bit too much. I think more of a purple tone would have looked better. I did use my new Artex acrylic paint markers to cover the black lines on the headpiece here. Now I did a review on these last month and I wasn't too sure how well I'd personally be able to cover the lines using a brush tip. I normally do use a fine or an extra fine tip, but I didn't have one in the correct color that I needed, so I thought I would give these a go, and I was hoping that my lines wouldn't be too thick. They are a little bit thicker than they would have been if I used my fine tip, and I did have to use a very soft pressure to try to keep that line nice and thin, but it covered the black lines really well. There is also some Sparkle Pop pens on here as well. I've used both silver and blue here on the jewelry as well as on the fish, and of course you can see it there on the border of the mirror as well. So that was another page completed in Atlantis. It's nice to see my Hannah Carlson books finally fill up, as they were getting not much love for a while there. So it's nice to see them getting a lot more love these last few months. So Atlantis from Hannah Carlson. Now, my final buddy colour for the month of March was from Rita Berman's Meine Reise durch Asien, and this was with the beautiful Shelley, who is on Instagram as Weaver Shelley. And this is the page we coloured this month. I will pop Shelley's page up here now. I love Shelley's colour palette. The colours look so pretty together. Shelley has also done the right hand side of the page too, using the same colour palette, and they both look fantastic next to each other. Such bright, happy colours. Thanks, Shelley, for buddying with me this month. I don't think either of us have done many of the pattern pages in Rita's book, so it was really relaxing and fun to colour too. I really need to find a good mandala book, like single-sided, good paper as well. I never used to enjoy colouring mandalas, but they're just so relaxing to colour. They're growing on me at the moment. So on my page, I used Artex Soft Pastels on the background, along with my trusty Cancer Craft Gold Shimmer Mist. The pencil work is all polychromos. You may have seen in last month's planning video, I think it was, that I'd actually started this page with Black Widows and I was going for like pinks and greens. Well, I changed my mind. I raised it and went back in with my polys in a different colour palette, and polys are amazing on this paper as well. Also, there is so much sparkle pop on this page. I've used gold and orange. This page is so sparkly. I'm not quite sure if the camera is capturing that and doing it justice, but it's just so shiny in person. I think I can see it coming up on the camera. But that was really fun to colour. I don't really colour the pattern pages very often, like I said, and I'm really enjoying sort of mandala type pages at the moment. So that was really fun to colour, and it was nice to pick up a different Rita Berman book because I have been working a lot in Africa at the moment, so it was nice to get another page done in the Asia book. Now, I coloured in 3 Joanna Basford books this month. The first up, let's take a look at Small Victories. And I did have plans to do 2 pages in this book in March, possibly even 3 if I could have got around to it, but I only actually managed 1. I have plans to do 2 again in April, but I'll discuss that more in my April plans video. So the page I completed was the Fish Home, not the official page name, I'm sure, but it works. So this was an interesting page for me. I have a tendency to colour my fish orange. You'll have seen it in Worlds of Wonder, Worlds Within Worlds, even Atlantis, Hannah Carlson, most likely other books too. World of Flowers, I think I have an orange fish in it as well. And that was my original plan for this page. In fact, a few people commented on my completed page saying they thought I would go with an orange fish. I figured it was a bit predictable for me. I've done so many orange fish, so it was time to change it up a little bit. But even as I was colouring this fish, I actually didn't know where I was going with my colours, because when I started colouring it, I still had an orange fish in mind. But I just had fun with it. I kept it to pink, purple and blue. And I think it worked out really nicely. Completely different to my first vision of this page, with sort of like a dark reddish wood with this golden orange fish. But sometimes it's really fun to try different things and do something a little bit different to your norm. So if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then we learn for next time, but this time I think it works. So this page is up on the channel as a colour along, and I will link the video down below, of course. Now, I have used the Arteza Soft Pastels on the background, and of course some Imagine Crafts Sheer Shimmer Spray in Sparkle. The pencil is all Prismacolor. There is some extreme glitter in the bubbles and some Pentel Sparkle Pop in an array of colours, with a little bit of a white signo on the house. On the fish here, I didn't use a white signo because the white signo tends to go hot pink when you use it on top of the Prismacolor pinks. So I think I used one of the Tully Arts from the pink and red set off the top of my head, but it's all in the video. So that is all I managed to get done in Small Victories this month. Next up is one of my favourite Joanna Basford books of all times, and that is Lost Ocean, my very first ever colouring book as well. Not this edition, not this version, a different one. This is my first one that I've been colouring in with pencils though. And this colour along was highly requested. There is a video up on the channel. I think it's 2 parts, I think. Is it 2 parts or 1? I can't remember. It could be 1. Is it 1 or 2? I can't remember. It's up there. I'll link it. So I worked on this spherical design this month and I'm absolutely in love with the final result. I have used a similar vibrant colour palette throughout this book, and I'll show you the other pages. So none of these other pages were colour alongs, but the same sort of colours, the blues, the orange, reds, the purples and the pinks. And that one as well. And I think that's it. I think that's all I've done. I need to fill this book up some more. So I decided to go with a similar fun colour palette with those blues, greens, oranges, reds, pinks and purples. But I think this has got more green in it than the blue. I think I'll also use this same sort of colour palette on any page in this book that I colour to keep it kind of cohesive. It'd be really fun to do the book all in similar bright vivid colours. I think they just pop so much and they're just so much fun to use as well. So this page is entirely coloured with Prismacolor pencils with quite a lot of sparkle pop pens on here as well. It's the first time I've used anything sparkly in this book and I really like the end result. The background is Arteza Soft Pastels, and I did my background last. So what happened when I went to rub away some of the pastel off the coloured elements, I pressed it a little bit too hard and I smudged the orange from around the starfish, which turned out to be a happy accident, I think, because I really liked the way it looked. So I purposefully did it around the other starfish so it would match. And I quite like that look. I think that little bit of orange added into that background as well. Now, normally I do put some white Signo on my little fish to add a little bit of shine to make them look a little bit glossy. I forgot to do that with this page. I was going to go and do it afterwards. Still haven't done it. Not sure if I will now. I quite like it as is, so I don't know if I'll add any more. I don't know if I mentioned there's also some Jelly Roll on here as well. So I've got the Pentel Sparkle Pop pens and I've got some Jelly Roll. So you can see the Jelly Roll glaze in sort of, I think it's orange. I think I used an orange and a red. Yeah, there's red around that starfish there. And here as well. Which just adds that, it has that little bit of a raised feel to it. Yeah. Did I mention also? I don't think I did. There is a shimmer spritz, the Imagine Crafts, as usual, in the background to add a little bit more sparkle. So it is very sparkly and shiny and bright, this page. I really love how it turned out. So that is my page in Lost Ocean. If you want to see more colour alongs in this book, let me know as well if you're interested, and I'll see what I can do going forward. Next up, we have our first full book colour along, which was from Rooms of Wonder by Joanna Basford. And I decided to tackle the Lost Property Office. Now, this page took me 9 days to complete, hence why I've only finished one side of the double page spread. I am hoping to finish the other half in April though. I'm really pleased with the end result too. I had a vision in my mind for this page and it really did translate well to paper. I love it when that happens. So for the background, it is all Inktense, even for the flooring here. I really like the shadows I created behind the objects. I think it really lifts the objects off the page. I did want a dark background to contrast with the light furniture so the objects would pop more and not get lost. They're already in the Lost Property Office. I didn't want them getting lost again. So I added in a skirting board down the bottom here and some flooring. This was Inktense and then I went over it with pencils to give it more of a polished look. So with the furniture, I wanted it to be white, and with the background being blue, I brought some of the blue reflex through to the furniture as well. So if I was going for maybe like a brown background, I would have brought some sort of beige kind of tones through to the white as a reflex. Because it was blue, I used a bit of a blue tone throughout for the white furniture. So all the pencil work was done with Prismacolor pencils. There is some sparkle pop pens on this page, some white Signo, jelly rolls on the soccer ball, and a few of the glass elements like the photo frames, the clock, the, what do you call this? The diver's helmet thingy, that thing. So on the glass for those things as well, just to give that sort of shiny effect. So like I said, my aim in April is to complete the other half and get this double page spread completed. So this page is up on the channel as a colour along. I think it is 2 parts, and of course, like I mentioned, I will tag them down below as well. So that is the only page I completed this month in Rooms of Wonder by Joanna Basford, our full book colour along. Now on to Mythic World, our other full book colour along, and I completed 3 pages in this book this month. I am on a roll. We are so close to completion. You can see the tags in the book. Well, you can't really. There, you can see the tags in the book. We have 5 pages left to complete. That's it. So I've tagged all the pages that are left. We also have the publishing info page, and the book belongs 2 pages as well, but I'm not counting them because 5 seems really close, but I don't want to add in 2 more pages to make it sound like it's so much further away. Anyway, so we'll start from the front of the book, and I worked on the title page this month. Now originally I was going to use cool greys and blacks and blues on this page, but I decided I wanted a more vintage look. I was actually colouring the Gargoyles page in this book and thinking about the cover page as I was colouring that one, and this idea came into my head and I could picture it completed, so I just ran with it, and this page was actually really quick to colour. So as soon as I finished the Gargoyle page, I came and coloured this one too. So the background is distress inks. It's just 2 different colours. The pencil work is all Prismas. I used some Jelly Roll glaze in the black of Medusa's eyes and also the snake eyes as well. And then the background of Medusa was coloured using some watercolour paints from Sparks Aquarelle. It was the colour Cowrie or Corey, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's from the Africa Chic palette. I did notice in my colour along that the colour name was auto-corrected to Cairo, but it's Cauri, and it's from the Africa Chic palette. So that just adds a little bit of nice sparkle to the page. I almost used some shimmer spray over the distress ink. I was so tempted, but rather than a sparkly finish, I wanted a bit more of a vintage look, so I left it alone. And next we had the Hecatoncheires page. This page also felt fairly quick to colour this month, which sounds strange saying fairly quick to colour in a Kirby book. But if you've been watching for a while, you will have seen me and over this page over the last few months, trying to come up with a colour palette. Now at one point he was going to have green skin and then even blue skin at one point. Then I read a bit more about the myth and thought about a stormy black background with my Neocolor 2s. But in the end, I went with these ochre colours, like a dusty, bloody battle background, but without the gore, of course. So I used Neocolor 2s for the background, polychromos for all of the pencil work, Artex acrylic paint markers to remove some of the black lines, sparkle pop pens as well for a touch of glitter. I've got Jelly Roll glaze in black on his helmet and a couple of his weapons, and in clear also on all of the eyeballs. And for the background, I used both the silver and the gold shimmer sprays. So the Kaiser Craft Gold and the Imagine Crafts shimmer in sparkle. Yeah. So hopefully you can see some of that shine. I don't know if you can see the glaze on the eyeballs of that shining as well. So that was the second page we coloured in Mythic World. And the third page we coloured was the Gargoyles double page, or the Gross Grotesques, I think they're called. Now this is my favourite page this month. I absolutely love how this turned out. This always happens to me as well. I leave pages to the end that I'm not so excited to colour, and then when I do colour them, they become my favourite pages. Same thing happened to me in Worlds Within Worlds too. What was putting me off colouring this one was all the stonework. I was expecting it to be really tedious. But it is one of my favourite images. I just thought it was going to be really boring to colour. So what I ended up doing is basing the majority of the stonework with Inktense pencils and then going over the top with Prismas. So if you've seen the video, you'll see that I use maybe 3 pencils for the stonework as opposed to my usual 6 to 7 pencil combo. So it did cut down a lot of the work by basing first with the Inktense. And I love my wolves here and how they're coming to life. I use browns to bring in a bit more colour to the page instead of like greys and blacks. And I bounced some of the light from the windows off their fur and the stonework to create a bit of a glow effect as well. Now, originally when I looked at this page, I wanted to create a stained glass window effect, but I do much prefer this yellow-orange glow instead. I think the page looks really harmonious, and I'm just in love with this double page this month. What else did I use? There's some white Signo on the teeth, as well as some Wink of Stella on their saliva as well. I have used some Light Wish Super Golden markers, just here, that's silvery gold. And the paint here and on the edges of this roof is it's black gold color from this set here. One second. Here's the packaging. I don't know where the actual paint's up, but here is the packaging. It was this color here, the black gold. And this was a set that Lightwish sent me in my gift box for the new year. So if you've seen that video, you'll see these paints. It does remind me of the Calero paints, maybe a dupe for Caleros. They should be linked in my Amazon store where I've been able to find them. So if you are looking for them there, it's kind of like a pewter color, like a deep dark silver. I'll lift it up again to show you because you may have a similar color already in your collection. It's like a really deep pewter, which is really pretty. And you can see the Wink of Stella there on the saliva. Now, I was originally going to add glossy accents to the windows just to add a little bit more interest to the page, but I did forget. And then I remembered just as I'd finished the page, and I was going to go back and add it. And I mean, because I have coloured all the pages on the other side, so it wouldn't have too much of an effect if I had these raised lumps on the pages because most of the book is coloured, but I decided to leave it as it is. Sometimes I've just got to learn to stop where it's at. So yeah, like I said, this is one of my favourite pages, probably my favourite page for the month. And that is everything in Mythic World. So that was 3 pages and we are so close to the end. So I have one more page to show you. Now I'm standing up for this one. I'm going to have to zoom you guys out, I think. So last but not least is my page from Wildegorn by Jamie Courtier. I love this book and I love this page. Let me just zoom you out a little bit. Okay, so the page I coloured in here this month is the Tower Mines of Scray. Let's hope that fits. Let me just zoom out a little bit more, try and get this whole page in here. God, this is such a big book. Okay, so again, I used Inktense on this page. They've been getting a bit of a workout this month, my Inktense pencils. The dirt here, the earth, is actually just 1 pencil and 1 coat. That's it. I really like the effect that created as well. So I didn't change it up at all. Didn't add anything else for shadows or lights or anything like that. Purely 1 pencil and 1 coat. Nearly everything else on this page is based with Inktense and Prismas over the top. The grass is actually Ohuhu alcohol markers as a base, and I can show you on the back here that there is absolutely no bleed through whatsoever. The alcohol markers worked really well on this page. And what else have we got? There is also some Sparkle Pop pens, and I will try and lift that up to show you that sparkle. You can see some Jelly Roll glaze there on the centre of the flowers. See the orange sparkle pop, the blue sparkle pop. And I think there's some up here too. Yeah. There we go. Jelly roll glaze for the flowers. What else have we got? Jelly roll glaze for the black here on the background. And then distress inks for the border as well. So, is that everything we use on this page? Pretty sure it is. Yeah. Just double checking. Yeah, it's all sparkle pops. Okay, so that is it for this page, and that is everything I have to show you today. So please let me know down below what is your favorite page this month. I always like to see which one you like the most. Mine is definitely the Gargo page from Mythic World. Thank you again to everyone who buddy coloured with me this month as well. I had a lot of fun, and I will see you all in my next video, which should be my April plans. So thank you so much for watching. I'm going to go take some antihistamines. Happy colouring, and bye for now.